Hi everyone. Uh, This video will be the second part of our production possibility frontier. And in this video, we're going to look at efficiency uh, and types of efficiency and what do different points on on or around our production possibility frontier represent. So, two kind of first definition that we'll see here is productive efficiency. And what this tells us, and we have this definition, it's impossible to produce more of one good without decreasing the quantity produced of another. In short, what this is saying is that we have everybody working. So if we had our classroom and we had 20 people in a classroom, and we decided that we're going to make bird houses for the day, right? We have 20 people in the process working to make bird houses. Now, with our productive efficiency, three types of points that we can have with our PPF. The first will be those points that fall on the production possibility frontier, and those will be considered efficient or productively efficient. The next type is those that will fall inside of the PPF, and those points will be inefficient. So with these points that are inside the PPF, we have our 20 folks in the classroom. We have maybe 10 of them working, and the other 10 just kind of get to relax, take it easy, right? We have 10 people that we could have working, and this point would be considered inefficient because we have those resources not being used. And the third case is a point that is going to fall outside of the PPF, and this is going to be considered unattainable. And that's, so say we're going to produce 10,000 bird houses in an hour with 20 people, right? Probably not very realistic. Even if we had 20 expert woodcrafters, still 10,000 bird houses an hour, probably not going to happen. So that point outside the PPF would be considered unattainable. So with our efficiency, we say, right, this is any point on the PPF, but not every point is going to be desirable. So if you think about a factory that makes shoes, and suppose they can make 100 shoes a day, they can make left shoes and right shoes. If they made 100 left shoes, they can make 100 shoes a day. They're being productively efficient in the sense that they're using all their resources and they're making what they can make. However, something that would better benefit society would be something like 50 left and 50 right shoes. What that brings us to is what's called allocative efficiency. Now, what this says is that we have a mix of goods that actually benefits society, or as we have a phrase here, the society most desires. So in our left and right shoes, we have maybe 50 left and 50 right shoes instead of 100 left and 0 right. One thing to note with this, if an allocation is allocatively efficient, then the allocation will also be productively efficient. So in this case of 100 shoes total, if we're producing 49 left and 49 right shoes, that would not be efficient because we can produce more shoes because we can make 2 more shoes. So that would not be either allocative or productively efficient. And the other side of this, so if an allocation is allocatively efficient, it's also productively efficient. The opposite of that, so the vice versa of that, is not necessarily true. And actually, most of the time, it's not going to be true. Right? So we have a lot of allocations that society does not mostly desire, and we'll have one that society does. In this case, it's more than likely going to be 50 left, 50 right. Right, unless for whatever reason, maybe our right shoes wear out faster, then maybe we need a few more right, so it might be 51-49. But for the most part, again, vice versa, not necessarily true. There will be one. In fact, most of the time, it's not true in the sense that there really will only be one point on the PPF that is actually allocatively efficient. So from a graphics perspective, we might say, well, what's going on and how do we know which points are what and what does this all look like graphically? So in addition to the points on our graph already, I'm going to add two of them, point Y and point Z. And two questions that we may come up with. The first is, which points say have productive efficiency? And to answer this question, we're going to look for any point on the PPF. So our PPF, again, is right here that I'm highlighting in green. In this case, we have A, B, C, D, and F. So our points that have productive efficiency, again, A, B, C, D, and F. And we may ask also, what about the others? So we have two types of points. The first we mentioned were our inefficient points. And our inefficient points are these two that are underneath the production possibility frontier. So we have R and Y. And for each of these points, we see right at Y, if I wanted to, I can have more people in education, or I can have more people into healthcare, or some combination of the two. Right, I have people to move around. And same thing with R. I can put more people into either field or some combination of the two. Oops. So that back on. And then the other type that we have is unattainable. And that would be up here at point Z. At this point, it's outside of the PPF. And that point is similar to our point we're saying we're going to produce 10,000 birdhouses an hour. Given the current technology, labor force, and everything going on, we just don't have the means to produce point Z. So the next question that may come up is, right, we say we have these points that are productively efficient. You might say, well, which point is going to be allocatively efficient? And the answer to this is going to largely depend. Under normal circumstances, we would think that our allocative efficiency would be somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to label that as potentially allocatively efficient. But that can change depending on situation. So if we have a outbreak of the plague come through and say 80% of the country is sick, right, that our allocative efficiency might move up here where we have more people practicing. So up here, maybe in the case of a plague, if we have the case where just somehow everyone is healthy, no one's getting sick, we might have more people down here teaching the next generation doctors for the next little outbreak of the flu. So down here, we might be like an extremely healthy state. But for the normal time, right, where people get sick, we have little outbreaks come through here and there, we would expect to be somewhere in the middle. And same thing for most goods. Most goods, we're going to expect to want some nice little balance between the two goods. So I hope this was helpful. In the next video, we'll be looking at comparative advantage. And if there's anything you need, like always, feel free to let me know.